I got them because people saw that I had such unusual and interesting cookbooks, and they said, well, I'm really looking for a book with patterns, and do you think you can find? And then I was able to find a number of very good books, and there have been more and more lately. The Tudor Tailor is a really good book, and they've done a number of other books in that line. One thing that was kind of funny, there's a gentleman out in the West. His name's, I think his name is Dan Smith, and he's a blacksmith. And his lady, she's now his ex-lady, but at the time was very interested in costuming, and she got him to make a number of little tools that you could use to cut decorative slashes in your garments. He looked at the pictures and he made the tools to create the appropriate slashes. And they showed photos of these tools in the Tudor Tailor with the gentleman's email. So he couldn't imagine why he was getting these emails from people in England. But it was not bad. I read a lot of the cookbooks, but not all of them. At least half and possibly 3/4 of the books are my roommates. So no, I haven't read all of those. I have my favorites out on the porch, because when I emptied out my book stock from the porch, then I said, look at all this empty space, and I started moving things. But when I went to SCA events, I would select, of course, ones where they had a merchant area, and even better if they had an indoor venue and could let me have tables. So there were a lot of things I never went to because as a merchant they were not feasible. I did do a couple of events that were outdoor events, one or two of which were rained out. This is not a good thing for booksellers. But mostly I was going to things that were specifically arts and sciences focused, and I would pick things between, say, DC and Boston. That was the area that I went at. I never got to being a really wide spread thing because I had my mundane job, and there's only so many places you can go to. But of course Pensick was the best. Got to Pensick and it was like, oh God, look at all these people. I mean suckers, I mean purchasers, and they're looking at me and saying, you've got Queen Elizabeth's wardrobe? I was in England and I couldn't get a copy of that book there. So Pensick was always a lot of fun because it's really gratifying to have some wonderful new book that you know is a really good book, and people come in and they go, oh my God, do you take a credit card? So that's the best thing. You want to sell them the book because you know they're going to love it, and it's a great book. So I had the book of Viking recipes. I was practically the only person in the whole country who had it, and I was importing it from Sweden, Denmark, probably Sweden. PayPal is your friend, because I was able to pay them in kroner, and they would ship me these humongous boxes about the size of that laundry hamper that had 16 copies of the book. I couldn't buy fewer than 16 if I wanted to get a discount. And man, those are heavy little books.